Hi, everybody. We're either the last thing or the last thing before the last thing between you and lunch, so we're going to try to do this pretty fast. I'm Joe Dalton at the New York Public Library. It's Jay Datema, and hopefully this is less about losing sleep. But what we're going to cover today is some attempts we've made to put out some JSON feeds to a third-party collaborative video platform called Kaltura, which we'll show you a little bit later, and some of the steps now that we're trying to do to extend the API using Drupal to produce RESTful URLs. So at the New York Public Library, we've been in the situation of having a number of people over the years come to us, ask for shareable subsets of our digital data. There are a lot of ways to share this stuff through variety of harvesting means to commercial vendors, etc. We've always been in the position in the past of having to say no, not because we didn't want to share, but due to infrastructure and scale issues, and especially something simple called Dublin Core. Our XML was in our own native homegrown format, and crosswalking our data model to Dublin Core took a while to do. While we were waiting for this, we started to wonder if third-party sharing via feeds might be an easier place for us to start, something like RSS. These all have obviously less granular data models than a harvested data set. On the other hand, they have potentially very widespread adoption outside the library world. With RSS, you can get something like dynamic update with a query against the digital gallery. This is just in a NetVibes module. We're just hijacking the Flickr widget to show a search set. For cooking on the right, someone could walk through various images or get a random set back. And then, or you could get a more traditional sort of RSS feed with, maybe when things were last created or updated for just various searches. We're doing this by querying our search API directly. We take the results, put them into a series of arrays, and we output it as RSS 2.0 with the Yahoo Media RSS extension. This lets us point back to image URLs for items, and we basically just modeled this on what Flickr looks like when they push out images. So this was sitting around as sort of a toy project this past summer, and we got approached by another group about possibly searching for our images on the fly using JSON. So it took very little time or work really just to turn this into JSON output, and it has a couple simple parameters for your keyword search. Where do you want to start your index at, and then just walk through the pages at whatever set size you want to declare, and pick what size image derivative you want. It can return any search in the digital gallery, because those are all happening on the URL. And instead of parsing our local XML that runs a digital gallery application, or our soon-to-arrive Dublin Core crosswalk, and hopefully the next month or so we'll be spewing Dublin Core all over the place, so it'll be great. We'll finally have some ways to share this stuff through things like OAI as well. But Kaltura folks were just interested in getting the object back. They weren't interested. Dublin Core never came up. OAI never came up. They certainly don't want to harvest our records because they want to search for this stuff on the fly. So they can get a result set back with JSON and just walk through the items. The item comes with that result set. And when they first brought this up, as I mentioned, we had the RSS feed sort of lying around, and they said, you want to try JSON for this? I was like, oh, great, okay, we'll see. And it took about, probably several hours altogether, maybe 3 emails back and forth, the whole thing. I mean, it was so, much to my surprise, it was sort of a trivial thing for them to consume and use in their test application, which then soon became a live application, which gets you to Kaltura. But I'd mentioned Kaltura is sort of a third-party video collaboration platform. They're looking at sort of what if you could take YouTube and then other folks could contribute to a video after someone had already put some clips in. Part I'm only going to be demoing here, if it works, is once someone has a video that they might be using, if they want to add some clips, they can go to Flickr, pull it off their own machine, or in this case, import it from NYPL and see if. And so it goes and gets the images, but it's doing the search in real time off of our image resolver, pulling the images, but it's getting the JSON back from the Digital Gallery API for this. So if someone wants to add something, they could pick it, and then we say, tag it. And, oh yeah, there's a little thing called digital rights management. So you click this, I certify that we're, whatever we are, Creative Commons, all that good stuff, and then you get to use it. I find it sort of stunning to look at this a little bit. I don't know if it'll, what's going to become of it, but what's interesting is a lot of stuff in Flickr, for instance, if people sort of maybe check off the Creative Commons box, may not realize people are making videos of their stuff somewhere else. So it sort of opens up a lot of other third-party, fourth-party, fifth-party application potential. So, one of the questions that came up right away when, we opened this up to just Kaltura was, well, if the images are down, our images sit on another resolver that's not part of our larger infrastructure, but not part of something that the Digital Gallery calls and says, hey, are you okay before it shows this stuff. There's no really rest into that farm. No static caching like Flickr would do. It's sort of all dynamic all the time. It does go down now and then. Hasn't been a problem for the Kaltura folks so far. They're happy with going live beta on this. However, we're starting to lose sleep about a number of issues: IP throttling, handing out API keys, documentation, just getting a RESTful handshake both to our service, but also sort of the images that are living sort of outside our services that we're calling and passing off to the Kaltura folks. This puts us in an odd position. Normally, as a library, we've usually been on the receiving end of those issues. So, it's something we're exploring now. For Kaltura, it might be enough. They're beta. Maybe they needed to work just well enough till they get angel funding. I don't know how those things work exactly, what their expectations are of a service level as well. But Jay's going to talk next about some things we're looking at to extend the API both inside the library and sort of give it a more RESTful interface.
Thanks, Joe. So the really fun thing was with Joe and Josh coming up with this before I came on board, there was this nice opportunity to extend 600,000 images into maybe the wider world. And I'd done some things with Drupal and been kind of excited about some things with Drupal 6. And so these URLs are Drupal modules that were used to kind of construct an overlay. And so the Digital Gallery has all kinds of collections. And so I'll show you something that's kind of like a sample direction that we were thinking of. There's a project called Services, and so that's a layer that lets you put a Rust server on top of your Drupal installation and get some nodes out of it. It relies on Zend, and there's a module as well as you have to download the framework, and the steps are kind of important. So that's the 4 URLs that you could use to do this for yourself. And of course, REST is a representational state transfer, and so XML over HTTP, widely used in the web world, not as much in the library world, but hopefully that'll change a little bit. And the URLs that we're looking at, services and REST, and there are a few methods. We'll show that in a minute or two. And the kind of exciting thing is you can not only pull back things and let other views come in, like Brewster was talking about yesterday, but you can also distribute your taxonomy. So you can both, if somebody annotates your images, you can get that back, or you can push that out in the other direction. So the methods that we were looking at here, comes in with loading. There's both get and put. So you can load, save, and delete nodes. You can send mail out. And then you can get the taxonomy. And depending how you set your Drupal taxonomy up, you can either make it nested or flat, retrieve it for a node or for all the taxonomy items. And it's a nice way of leveraging what the open source community has built into the library infrastructure. And so it has a nice built-in way of saying, someone emails or you set it up so that you want to pass out a key or a domain. It has that there. It has a way to be able to list all the places that you're collaborating with and see their keys. We're not yet doing anything with the Times, but it would be a fun thing to do something with the local newspaper here in New York. And you have the option to either make, if you're doing it internally, you probably don't want to use keys and session IDs. It makes it a little bit easier. And then once you have that kind of internal API, we were playing with the tobacco collection. And so there's a collection of images that the New York Public Library has. This is a smoking gallery, an image from the 1900s. And loaded in about 400 images. One of the other modules, which we'll show in a minute, had a nice hook in with coins, and so this is how it works with Zotero. So you start to leverage a lot of different pieces of the infrastructure, and you can download things. And let people start to work with individual objects. I think the first step is taking pictures and making them available. The next step, of course, is making them research objects and usable. And so the other thing that you can do and open up is there's metadata certainly attached to all of the items, but one of the things that this provides is a way to let people add in metadata that can be pushed out as OAI or as Dublin Core, some of the fields here, as well as coins. So it's nice to see, as the Code4Lib community kind of hack that together, how it's been taken up in the wider web world in places. And this project Biblio, I'd recommend to anyone to try it out. So Josh Greenberg is our fearless leader at the labs, and I think you can find information on the Kaltura project in the blog post and some other things there. And I guess would leave you with recommendations for a couple books. One is Code 2.0. I think working code wins. It kind of sets up an expectation when you can do something. And I think that the people here in the room have a great responsibility for how libraries are going to work in the future. And then also Nicholas Carr's Big Switch, which is another good book to kind of understand the shift in libraries. We have 5 minutes or so for questions, and I'm really curious what you all think about the direction that we're looking at.
Thanks a lot, Jay and Joseph.